Punch Ultimate Debate League, St. Patty's Massacre card. I'll be the host, iXclusive said. Debater to my left, MVP, introduce yourself.
773 in the building. Gang shit. Chirac shit, man. Shout out my Midwest niggas. Finna bring home the dub, man. Shout out Punch. Go follow the movement.
Debater to my right, TV, introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody, man? It's TV, the people's champ. We the people are here. Salute the We the Culture. Tropicana game. Brooklyn, stand up. This is going to be a fire one, people. Tune in. Salute the Punch. Follow the movement.
MVP, what you want to do? Heads or tails?
Nothing but heads. Nothing but heads.
Hey, yo. It's tails. TV, what you want to do?
Let him go first.
All right. The topic tonight for you two debaters is Emmitt Smith versus Adrian Peterson. We're going to leave all the awards and accolades and all that stuff out the window. We're going to go straight on the field. Who was the best running back on the field? MVP in the first round. Punch.
No fucking harm come with this shit. Bigger, stronger, faster, elusive, better. AP is a freak of nature. We all know Bleacher Report. Bleacher is a credible source. AP put forth one of the best NFL combine showings ever, where you tested on your speed, athleticism, explosion, for a few examples. And yes, he timed and did better by far than Emmitt Smith, who was one of the most poor performers at the combine. He with his disgusting, I think he ran about a 4.740 when the average 40 time and for a running back is 4.48 seconds. That's why he went 17th overall in the draft, while AP was 10 spots higher at the 7th. He clocked in at a beautiful 4.3840. 4.38, that's 4 seconds for the people who don't know. And it shows on the field. Widely considered the best running back of the 2000s. A pure bruiser, physical downfield runner that will blow past you in a heartbeat. Had defenders in fear to step in front of that man. That was a freight train moving. He'll bust your fucking head to the white meat show, and defenders knew that. That's why they got out of his way. Emmitt Smith, on the other hand, he ran the ball soft. He ran the ball timid. He ran by them sidelines, and he ran out of bounds instead of head hunting. And that shit ass, pussy. AP wanted all that smoke. Either your baby ass getting ran over or he stiff arm your chin strap loose. He was a one-man army. We ain't talking team. We talking feeding the beast. Put AP on any team, he AP. We saw different already with Emmitt, but we go talk about that later. Like I said, bigger, faster, stronger, jump higher, more explosive equals better running back. Gang.
All right, bottom of the first. TV is on you. Punch.
He is absolutely right. Adrian Peterson had all of that. He is a freak of nature. He is fast. He does got the yardage to prove it. But he don't got the rings to prove his greatness. Yeah, of course, he ran across the field, all this, and did all this greatness. For what, though? For nothing? To be remembered as one of the greatest in the season? Emmitt Smith, yeah, he came out number 17th his rookie year, but he also won Rookie of the Year. So did Adrian Peterson at 7th. So, it didn't matter if he went 7th or 17th, or both of them won Rookie of the Year. Also, he is the leader of yards earned for his career. When you talk about earning it, grinding it out. And I'm going to mention about grinding it out in the second round. We're going to get to that. We talk about a man who's against adversity at times, had to do it for himself. The offense ran through him. He was the offense. He was that nigga. There was no second option for him. He was number one for majority of his career. I could damn near punch for all of his career. We can argue that he is Mr. Football. Arguably, he is Mr. Football. Adrian Peterson, we can punch that shit. Walter Payton could be better than him. We could punch that Barry Sanders could be better than him. We could punch that LaDainian Tomlinson could be better than him. We ain't punching if any of them niggas is better than them because we know they ain't. We ain't doing that because we know the facts, and the facts remain. When you that nigga, you show and prove who you that nigga. And I'm going to explain why he was that nigga in the second round, man.
All right, top of the second. MVP is back on you. Punch.
Hey, I hope the judge is listening. Get his asshole no points for that dumb shit. He must not have been listening to said when he announced the topic. We ain't asked about rings or none of that, but we go get into that, bro. Most of Emmitt's accomplishments, since you saying he the workhorse, nigga, that's largely due to the team around him, nigga. When you got Troy Aikman at QB, Michael Irvin on the outside, for those who don't know what that means, you can't, bro. You can't put 8-9 people in the box just to strictly stop the run, which obviously make it easier, right? Well, what make it easy, ran behind the best, nigga. You talking about he was the man? He ran behind the best offensive line in NFL history. And that's why even with his numbers, most analysis won't put him as the best running back ever. So what the fuck are you talking about? Because he's clearly not even the best running back of his era. That would go to Barry Sanders and niggas like Eric Dickerson. Niggas talking about Emmitt Smith the best where? You never heard that. Not an opinion, bro. Just he never went over 2,000 yards in the season as a rusher. Wait, let me get this straight. You the best ever with the best line ever, and you never went over 2. AP has, and he only 9 short of breaking the all-time record when he did it, which makes him second when he rushed for over 2,000 yards. With a line not considered the best of anything, and 1 Pro Bowler on the line. Meanwhile, Emmitt kept his same line for the better majority part of his career. So why you saying he was a man for the majority of his career? It's because he kept the line for the most of his career. The line accounted for 30 Pro Bowlers, bro. For the people who don't know, 30 Pro Bowls is 30 Pro Bowls for 5 offensive linemen throughout the 1990s. They carried that team. They was the workhorse for that team. Stop steady telling people Emmitt Smith was the man. Emmitt Smith wasn't the man of shit. The Super Bowls was due to that line. The Super Bowls, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, all of them, got to thank that offensive line, bro. It's a difference when you run free and untouched. Majority of the time, AP breaking tackles in the backfield, turning into big plays. People mock their game after AP. Kids want to be like AP. You never heard somebody they wanted to play like Emmitt, run the ball the way Emmitt Smith run it. Because Emmitt Smith don't run it no type of great fucking way. That's why we always got better running backs we like better than AP the fucking best in the 2000s. Don't you ever fucking put a Damian Thomason name next to his, nigga. Time.
Bottom of the second. TV is back on you. Punch.
Yes, he fell right into my trap. I wanted him to name all the great players that Emmitt Smith played with. If all you pen niggas peep the scheme. Listen, Emmitt Smith came in at a time in 1993 where the deck was stacked against him. He was a restricted agent for 30 days, which means any other team could have picked him up. He ain't have to play with just all these greats. Any other team had to bid to come in and get him, and they didn't come get him. So he was forced to stay with them great players. And you know what he did that year? That year he had the cold shoulder game where they broke his fucking right shoulder in the second quarter. And he still ended that game with 170 yards rushing, 80 yards receiving. That's 250 altogether. Some quarterbacks don't end the game with that. With a broken shoulder. He showed the whole entire league that he had heart. Fucking John Madden came from the skybox to his motherfucking hand to shake his hand saying good game. After that, he wanted to go win the league MVP. Now he's showing everybody that he's that ace of spades. Now that he's that ace of spades, what he did to go do it, he went through the fucking playoffs and won a diamond championship ring. And he won the motherfucking Super Bowl MVP. And all roads after all those accolades lead straight to the Hall of Fame club. So you want to talk about the cards that he was dealt. Don't talk about the cards he was dealt. Talk about how he played his hand when he was dealt them fucking cards. Niggas broke his shoulder in that game. And he ended the fucking season MVP. He ended the season that nigga. Niggas don't want to match. Niggas don't want to create their games behind him. Why? They don't want to create their games behind a champion? Using what you got to get what you want, which is a fucking ring? Come on, man. We ain't doing this. This is Mr. fucking Football. Emmitt Smith. Pay fucking homage. Pay respect. Thanks to him, you can run around the league and do what you want to do and earn that money you get in Peterson. Thanks, Smitty. Pay homage, nigga. Time.
All right. Top of the third. MVP is back on you. Punch.
All right. Now, if you don't know football, a lot of this shit's leading. So all that Mr. Football shit out the window. That shit sound dumb as fuck, bro. 2, fact check yourself. You say he came in 3, Emmitt Smith was drafted in 1990. 3, you study talking about he so did Adrian Peterson. He over Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. And he won the offensive player in the same year. We got power backs and we got elusive backs. You know, guys great at running through contact and forceful, those power backs, or guys who shifty with great move, those elusive backs. Which category is Emmitt, bro? Which one? He fucking neither, because he not that. AP both categories, because he's simply just a great natural athlete. His vision and his adjustments on the fly, on the field, carry him over. You bringing up games and accomplishments. You remember what he did to William Gay of the Steelers? You remember what he did to that corner on the motherfucking Packers? AP steamrolls people in open field. He's a hard runner. He has great vision. These are things you need as a running back. You saying what Emmitt Smith did, we go talk about in the third round. Because like I said, thank that line, not him. He not missed a nothing. He missed a run out of bounds and avoid contact, nigga.
All right, TV is on you. Punch.
He said we're going to talk about that in the third round. He forgot that was the beginning of his third round, but we're going to continue. I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about winning. We're talking about winning. What you call the best? These numbers? These juke moves? These I steamrolled the nigga? Or I won the fucking game? You talking about Emmitt Smith, Adrian Peterson running over niggas. The nigga ran over a whole team with a broken shoulder. He ended that game with 3 touchdowns. Him. Just one. Just him. With Troy Aikman and a motherfucking Michael Irvin. They ain't do it. He did that. You keep talking about it's not about accolades. And what is it about if you playing the game? What are you in this game for? Just to be another nigga on the totem pole? And Adrian Peterson played with a great. I swear to God, his name was Brett Favre. Brett Favre damn sure was a great. And that still wasn't enough. Crazy. So you want to talk about Troy Aikman? A lot of people might have Favre over Aikman, and depending on how you want to debate it. But he also played with greats, and he also lost with greats as well.
All right, MVP is back on you. Punch.
Like I said, you judges, dumbass nigga. 30. We talking about this. We talking best running back. You talking about all that other dumb shit don't matter. And you bringing up Brett Favre, that was cute. Bring up the fact he was 40 or 41 years fucking old, 10 years, 15 years after his fucking prime, retired 2 times before he ever got to Adrian Peterson. So why would you even bring him up, bro? But a quarterback you should have. Do Christian Ponder sound? Jerome Simpson sound familiar? Michael Jenkins sound familiar? Any one of them sound familiar? I'm sure they don't, because in that 2,000-yard season I brought up, that my nigga AP had, that was his quarterback and his fucking receivers. Cold name, no fucking help. Teams threw all they had, stacked the box, and still couldn't stop him by no means, bro. Tavares Jackson, that was his quarterback. And some more motherfuckers that were not worth mentioning in 07 when AP ran for the most yards in the game. So when you bring up Brett Favre, bring up the fact that he was 40-some years old, Christian Ponder and Tavares Jackson, and those type players who was in the backfield with AP. And he still rushed for that 2,000, something Emmitt never did. Time.
TV is back on you. Punch.
You keep talking about it's not about accolades. Then how can you see yourself the best when you don't have nothing to prove it besides numbers in the season? You see a lot of niggas do great in the season, but when it's time to play, it's time to play. And when it was time to play, why you ain't save those big game numbers for those moments when it was needed, when it was time to put it in, man? Emmitt Smith put it in every fucking time. You want to keep talking about his line? That's Adrian Peterson for. Nobody told you to re-sign that fucking contract. You could have went anywhere you wanted to, nigga. You AP. You decided to stay with that bum-ass line. That's your fault. Blame me, blame your manager for that shit, nigga. That ain't got nothing to do with me, because I was played the hand I was dealt and fucking played it out the best I could. I wanted to leave. Niggas, they come get me. You could have left. You stood. That's your fault. That ain't my problem. That's on you, nigga. Choose better choices in your life, and maybe you'll have some hardware to go behind them numbers during the season, nigga. Time.
All right, MVP is back on you. Punch.
But to educate this lost brother over there, because he studied saying a bunch of dumb shit out of his mouth, study saying I never said it was about accolades. I never said that, bro. But guess what else happened? Talking about since you brought up the fact that Smitty tore his shoulder. AP tore a fucking ligament in his left knee, nigga. A career-ending injury that players, especially running backs, never from. But not only did he recover by the next season, he gave you greatness on all levels. He is species. He a different species. These niggas mere mortals. Those mortals include Emmitt Smith. I get the fact that he won rings, but like I said, those are team objectives. We talking about who was the better player. So when you study bringing up what his team won as a team, that has no bearing on this argument, brother. Time.
TV is back on you. Punch.
Okay, you keep talking about the team shit. I mentioned the single season record. I mentioned the fact that he led the league rushing in 4 different years. I mentioned the fact that he won 3 motherfucking rushing titles for touchdowns in 3 separate seasons. I mentioned all of those, that what he had to do. So you talking about a team, those are his numbers. And you talking about he had a great season that year after coming back with that. What happened the year after? Wasn't that the year that he whipped his kid? No, we ain't gonna mention that. We ain't gonna bring the outside word, because bringing a good running back only counts on the field. It don't matter what you do off the field. You're right. So back to what I was saying. Emmitt Smith single-handedly can be argued Mr. Football. You're not arguing Adrian Peterson as Mr. Football. I don't give a fuck what you say. We're not arguing that with nobody. You're putting fucking quarterbacks, maybe wide receivers in front of him before you mention him. Emmitt Smith, you can argue, period. He has 208 touchdowns. He do. That ain't the fucking team. That's him getting that. He has 168 touchdowns for just him running it in. Man, he ended his career with 33 fucking 100 receiving yards. So you ever got to put him in the backfield. He can move over. You want to talk about dynamic? You can bring him out the backfield and put him over to the left side running the slot. He was him. He was that nigga. He was Mr. Football, man. Pay homage, man. Pay fucking homage. Time.
All right, MVP. It's on you. Final closeout argument. Punch.
Like I said, Judge, another 30 for the dog. You arguing this ball narrative, brother. We arguing who is the better running back. First team All-Pros, Smitty made 4 of those. Cool. AP made 4 of those. He got an MVP with him. He got NFL Offensive Player of the Year. He got a Pro Bowl MVP. He's been the MVP of the whole league. He 3-time second team All-Pro. He 1st-time first team All-Pro. So when you bringing up the numbers, he got the numbers to punch with that shit. So the moral of the story of this shit is, if this was football, I'd be Adrian Peterson. You will be Emmitt Smith because you run behind your block. I don't need that shit. While AP carried the ball and his Emmitt line carried that team. He's good for what he's worth, bro. He got them easy little 1-yard touchdown. And 2, pull up any type of footage. I dare you to show people of Emmitt Smith in the slot, working the slot, catching footballs. He never did that dumbass shit. It sounds cool for your argument, but like I said, it's misleading to the people. But again, Emmitt line carry team. He's good for, bro. We didn't forget about those Cardinals, but he never touched 1,000 yards rushing. So if Emmitt was Emmitt, while all them doing him behind the greatest line ever, you tell me why he didn't get to the Cardinals and never get him 1,000-yard season at least once. Oh, yeah. And if you want to bring up age, that's because bums need to bring up age, nigga. At 30, AP became the first running back ever and the oldest running back to make first-team All-Pro. He had a career-ending injury, bro, 7-8 years ago, and he's still playing today. While AP was starting, carrying his team, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, Emmitt Smith was bringing his ass off that bench, contributing to a great team. I knew the fumbles ain't going to get brought up sooner or later, so let me bring it up. Emmitt Smith, he has 14 seasons, bro. Out of those 14 seasons, 11 of those seasons, double-digit fumbles. AP has 2 seasons where he didn't fumble the ball at all and 3 seasons where he only fumbled the ball 1 time. So if you try and force that into your argument, that don't work. Like I said, once again, the team arguments is cool. You study saying these accolade shit, that's cool. It fit good for your narrative. But what we are arguing, who is the better running back? Adrian Peterson is faster. You agreed already. He's strong. You agreed already. He's bigger. He's better. He's more elusive. Emmitt Smith ran a 7. He's not touching AP on no level. He did good behind a great line. If you want to, do your Googles. You will never see any type of poll or any type of graph showing that the Dallas Cowboys offensive line of the 90s is not the greatest in history. You might see it fucked up when they got him in. But moral of the story, having Troy Aikman and having fucking, what's the boy name? Michael Irvin. Those are big differences, bro. You study acting like that shit don't mean nothing when it mean everything. Just like when you're on the fucking basketball court or any team sport, having great teammates make you better as an individual. Yes, Smitty was a good running back, but stop saying Mr. Football. He's not better than Walter Payton. Nobody's going to tell you he's better than Barry Sanders. He's not better than Eric Dickerson. So you could bring up their career numbers. Once again, that's not what we argue, because if we was arguing that, I wouldn't have took the argument, brother. His career numbers cute. He had a great line, but he's not a better running back than Adrian Peterson. No fucking homage for time. Gang shit, nigga.
All right. Got an opportunity to close out your round now. TV punch.
I wasn't gonna. You tried to Eminem and shit. I wasn't bringing the fumbles because for the fact that Emmitt Smith has more career fumbles than Adrian Peterson, so I wasn't going to bring that up. But nice try. Next time, do your research and you can see why niggas want to bring up fraudulent, information like that. But next, only reason I'm bringing up all these accolades is for the simple fact is how can you be the better running back? You didn't win shit for it. Like, I understand your argument, but what does that prove when you didn't do shit? You didn't do nothing. You steamrolled a few niggas in the game. Why you ain't steamroll your way to a fucking victory in the playoffs? Why you ain't do that? You want to keep arguing this argument about your line. You chose your line. I didn't choose this for you, brother. You chose this for yourself. You chose your own way out. You chose the fact that you wanted to end your career. And speaking of them 2 Cardinal years you bring up with Emmitt Smith, yeah, he ain't reached 1,000, but he damn sure reached 975 yards. That's second to last year. That's last year it was 275, but that very first one was 975. Wasn't quite 1,000, but we was almost there. You try to shit on him like he wasn't close or nothing, but good try. Anyway, the reason I brung up all the accolades because you just brung up all the accolades, and they kind of mirror match except for championship rings. And finals Super Bowl MVPs. That's the difference. Being that nigga. You don't want to bring up accolades, but you just bring them up in your third round. I understand all that cute shit on the field, but what does that cute shit do when it's game time and it's time to bring it home? You ain't bringing it home losing. Period. Time.
Punch Ultimate Debate League. That was TV versus MVP. Emmitt Smith versus Adrian Peterson, who was the better running back on the field. I'm going to send it straight over to our ringside analysis so they can get their take on this bout, who they had winning, their thoughts on this bout. De Jesus, Top Tier Podcast. It's on y'all. Punch.
Yo, I feel like that first round was actually really good. MVP came out swinging. He brought up the fact that Adrian Peterson had one of the best NFL Combine performances ever. He said that he timed better than Emmitt Smith off rip, right? He says he's like a freight train. He's like a freight train moving. He says that Emmitt Smith actually ran the sidelines instead of going right at the defenders, and he finishes off the round saying the same thing that he said to begin the round. He said he's bigger, faster, stronger. He jumps higher and he's more explosive. He says that the topic he throughout every round he was restating the topic and making sure that everything stayed on point. And I appreciated that. It was a very clean, solid round. TV says that Peterson has all those attributes, but he doesn't have any rings. And I'm gonna bring these up for a reason. He said that he did all that for nothing, just to be remembered for the regular season. He said if both of them won Rookie of the Year, then it's not even worth mentioning. So I feel like TV had a really good round as well. But he finishes it off strong, stating that Emmitt Smith was pretty much Mr. Football. He said that you could punch that a lot of players are better than Adrian Peterson, but not a lot of players are being compared to Emmitt Smith on that all-time level. So that was a really good round, but I gave it to MVP 1-0. And MVP starts off his second round very strong. He brings it right back on top, and he says that rings don't have a place in this debate. He says that Emmitt ran behind one of the best offensive lines in history, and he says that he isn't even the best running back of his era, and he cites Barry Sanders and others. He said that he went over for that Emmitt Smith never went over 2,000 yards, but Adrian Peterson has. He's had one Pro Bowl or he's only had one Pro Bowler on his offensive line, while Emmitt Smith had an offensive line that amassed 30 Pro Bowls, which is actually a crazy stat. So I like that. He brought that up. Again, a very great round by MVP. TV responds and says that, he was an agent. He was a restricted agent for 30 days, so he had no choice, or he had no choice but to be on his team. So, I feel what he was saying, but again, MVP had a stronger, more concise round, clear round, and I feel that TV did have a good angle about Emmitt Smith breaking his shoulder and still getting 170 yards. I don't know how many wide receiving yards or receiving yards he cited, but it wasn't as good as MVP's. I have it 2-0 at this point, and I have MVP the third round clear, actually. I feel like TV, especially in the last minute, did not finish off as strongly as MVP did. I feel that MVP had I'm going to cite one bar from the third round that MVP had that was fire. He said, you would be Emmitt Smith. You run behind the block, and I don't need that. And that was fire. Like it was just a very solid third round. I feel like MVP outclassed TV. I can't lie.
All right, Top Tier Podcast. What's your thoughts on this bout?
Yeah, not to drag this out. This was a 30, and just for the simple fact that this man heard what the topic was without accolades and continued to punch with accolades, and that was just a big time disqualification. And for the simple fact, MVP had so many angles to talk about. I thought the most powerful angle in this was the QBs. When you talk about Emmitt Smith playing with Aikman, and when he hit him with Christian Ponder and Tavares Jackson, I forgot that Adrian Peterson played with Tavares Jackson for a bit. And, he did a good job bringing up Brett Favre, and then even MVP, excuse me, kind of with that said, Brett Favre was old. So, MVP 30.
Dope. Well, I appreciate that, Top Tier. Appreciate that, They Hate Jesus. That was MVP versus TV. Emmitt Smith versus Adrian Peterson. Who's the better running back? This is Punch Ultimate Debate League, St. Patty's Massacre. Go follow Punch right now on Twitter @PunchUDL, and we'll be back with our next bout shortly. Punch.